on the screen. So it is week 3 though. But yeah, everyone, hey, we're back for another week of fantasy football talk.
Okay.
We are live, Mr. 411.
Okay, we are live. All right, here we go. All right. Hey, we are live. Welcome to the 411 Sports World Fantasy Football Show here on the 411 Sports World Network. Make sure you press the like, the subscribe, the notification bell, the share, because sharing is caring. Make sure you do all those things. Also, check us out on TikTok under Mr. 411, and also do the same thing on Instagram, aka the Gram, uh, Mr. 411. Right there, you got to spell all that out. It's a lot of letters, but hey, when you think about it, it's not really that hard. It's Mr. Mister, and then four. We can spell four, F-O-U-R, and we can spell one, O-N-E, O-N-E. So that's basically how that came about. All right, Lacey Dawson is in the building.
Hi there.
All right, and then the calculator is here.
Greetings and salutations, everyone.
Can't wait for that one. All right,
I always
can't
wakes
do
me
a
up.
yeah, we can't do a show without that. All right, here we go, y'all.
No. We are live, Mr. 411.
Absolutely, we are live and we are alive, and that's a great thing too.
Absolutely.
So,
PCO
wait,
coverage.
yeah, absolutely.
All right, okay. Hey, look, we're gonna go through our normal format here. So our playbook consists of news and notes, uh, waiver wire, studs and duds, listener league, and the mini draft. So that's pretty much everything we'll cover today. And then, of course, if you're out there and you have your questions, we'll definitely answer them. And so you have your fantasy football scenarios. We are here to help you. Lacey is around 24 hours, 7 days a week to help provide that information. And so is the calculator. All right. I didn't
Absolutely.
say me, but I didn't say me. All right. All right. But Larry Stone Cold, what's happening?
Yeah.
Curtis.
Hey,
Walking around the bar with his earphones in. That's what we like to hear.
yeah, yeah. He probably got some Ciroc in his hand uh,
Yeah.
on his way to the Diddy party.
Oh,
Don't say that.
I don't know about that, Mr.
Too soon.
411. I think those were put to an end from what I understand.
Yeah. You don't want that.
No, Lacey said we don't want that.
No, sir.
Oh.
Ain't no party like a Diddy party. All right, but anyway.
All
All
right.
right, Larry Stone Cold. Let us know, Larry Stone Cold, since you're out there, if you're gonna be in tune enough for you to be able to make picks in the mini draft. Just let us know with a yay or nay on that, and then the production team can kind of work their magic from there. All right, let's get into the news and notes calculator, week 3.
All right, with the news and notes, and Lacey can always correct me if I skip over a player that has been injured like she did last
Oh, I
week.
will.
I was trying to ease her pain because I skipped over her players that were injured. But she, that's right, she called me on it. But no, quarterback during the game, Justin Herbert. He did exit the game, questionable return next week. From what I understand, he's been dealing with it all year and just couldn't go. That the TJ Watt just put him out. I guess he just got tired. Well, see, it hurt when both tackles get hurt during the game as well. So you have both tackles hurt on the San Diego the Chargers, and then of course Herbert eventually goes out. But I think he'll be out next game. But he should be. I'm thinking it's just a 1 week absence. It's a lower ankle sprain, not a high ankle sprain. So look for him to be back in a couple weeks. But the thing is, they really need him this week because they play the Chiefs. But they got to protect the franchise. Sam Darnold, one of the big surprises this year. He had a knee injury. He left briefly, came back, expected to be okay. He will be out there. Jordan Love, yes, he did miss the week, but news out of camp is he was practicing in full last week. They were giving him just an extra week to heal because they felt like, they basically wanted to save him for their division game against Minnesota. So I'm thinking Jordan Love will be back for the game against Minnesota this upcoming week. Skylar Thompson, another product of the bad offensive line in Miami, wound up exiting the game in Miami. And, as he takes a hit, Tyreek Hill takes a hit, Jalen Waddle takes a hit, and even Devon Achane wasn't affected this last week. So bad things in Miami. Doesn't look like it's getting any better. All right, I'm going to the running backs. Are there any other quarterbacks that I missed that anybody has
actually,
questions on?
just an interesting note, at least it's interesting to me. You actually touched on all three of the quarterbacks that I have in one league. I had Jordan Love, and then I had a backup was Herbert. So when Love got hurt, I had to drop him because I needed to get a backup for my backup, and that guy was Sam Darnold. So thanks, universe. All three of them. Come on now.
That's how it works. Yeah. So that's how it rolls sometimes. Yeah. So, but okay. So we'll go to running backs. Everybody knows Joe Mixon missed the game. Well, the news out of that was Akers filled in, but was ineffective. So a lot of chatter out there that once Dameon Pierce comes back, they're going to try and get him in as the backup. But the thing is, Joe Mixon they're thinking he will be back next week as well. So all those Akers owners, at least he got that cheap touchdown at the end. So I think that might be once Mixon gets back, if he's fully healthy, he'll get the full load again, just due to the ineffectiveness of Akers. Kenneth Walker III, we know he missed, but now Charbonnet actually did well. Now, Mr. 401, you're the Seattle fan. With Charbonnet doing as well as he did, do you think Kenneth Walker gets a full load as soon as he's healthy?
I do not. I think it's going to be, one of those committee situations. And I would say this. I wouldn't be surprised if it's more of a 60-40 type of situation going on between those two. Because Walker is now becoming Baron Davis. You remember the days of our fantasy football days, calculator? And Lacey Dawson. Baron Davis was exceptional basketball player, and he basically was kind of like the best basketball player in fantasy for the first 2 weeks of the season. But you had to set your clock on him getting hurt. You know what I mean? And I think that's what you have to do now is start keeping an eye on Walker and just saying, you know what, when he's playing, hey, he can give you everything you need, but at some point in time he's going to get injured. And so if I'm Seattle, I think in order, and even in a non-fantasy perspective, I think Seattle would be best if they kind of manage him that way. So yeah, he can get 60%, but I wouldn't be surprised if Charbonnet gets 40% because he did look impressive against Miami.
Yeah. Raheem Mostert, he missed another game with a chest injury. Still no word on him, but I'm telling you, I'm avoiding all Miami Dolphins at this point. Got some news on Christian McCaffrey. Word is he went to get a fourth opinion from a German doctor. So he is out in Germany getting an opinion. But word on the street is the reason he went to Germany is he's getting these injections to try and get the Achilles to heal faster. And he is only allowed a certain dose in U.S., but he can actually get double the dose in Germany. So he's in Germany trying to get that Achilles back. But we're here, they're talking about him not coming back till week 10, which is a week after their bye week. So that's a long time, folks. So Christian McCaffrey owners, if you traded for him or if you want to go out and get him, temper expectations, because even if he comes back, he's going to have to try and get in a football shape and probably wouldn't get his full load. Although the thing is, he'll be fresh. But again, you have a chance for re-aggravation. So very, Mr. 41, we did have a CMC trade in the listener league a couple weeks ago. So, my best wishes to both people that were in that trade. Just try to keep your head above water, and see if you can, because if you get a fresh Christian McCaffrey and you make the playoffs, you could be dangerous. That is true, but you got to get to the playoffs, most likely get to the playoffs without Christian McCaffrey at this point. Because like I said, week 10 is a long ways away. Okay, and that was my CMC news. Wide receivers, T. Higgins, he played, looked good. Joe Burrow was a little off on his timing to T. Higgins. If people saw the Monday night game, Burrow was hooking up with Jamar Chase. He was hooking up with Gesicki. He even had that whatever that guy's last name starts with an I. Somebody. I think he's from Princeton or whatever. But he hooked up with him. The only guy he was off of. Oh, and he was even hitting low screen passes to Zach Moss of all people. But yeah, I think T. Higgins, once he gets fully healthy, gets more into more practices under his belt, he'll be in, and Joe Burrow, he'll be fine. Devontae Smith, I don't know if they watched that game. That game was on in our area, so I was able to watch the Saints-Philadelphia game. That was just a vicious hit. And it was one of those things, he wasn't looking. It was like he tackled from one side, and then he got hit from the big guy, D lineman, full speed, hit him high. I'm surprised he walked off. But yeah, concussion. I think he'll be out another week. And again, I think A.J. Brown's going to be out another week as well. So because they have a bye next week. So I think they're going to probably use that bye to advantage. Just, hey, if you have Dallas Goedert, fire him up. If you have, we'll talk about him on the waiver wire if he's out there. Jahad Dotson, that could be a reason they traded for him. Fire him up. So, Johnny Wilson, yes, sir. I can tell you, that guy was a beast at Florida State. The guy's 6'7", can go get a contested shot. I'm not saying fire him up, but I'm saying he could be worth a look. The reason they drafted Johnny Wilson was for A.J. Brown insurance. They wanted that other big body because, Dotson's not a big guy. Devontae Smith's not a big guy. They wanted another big body in their wide receiver room. But anyways, it looks like it'll be a Dallas Goedert. Well, hey, it just could be a Saquon Barkley on the ground game as well. Just because it shows of all the people that are effective, Saquon Barkley he's almost unstoppable at this point. Justin Jefferson added another injury to his thigh contusion. Now he has a finger injury, but word is, expected to be okay. Tank Dell, hand injury, had to exit the game. Expected to be okay. Should be back next week. Adam Thielen exited the game with a hamstring injury. Old guy, on his touchdown at that. Beautiful touchdown, but hurt himself. He's going to be out from what I understand 2 weeks. So Andy Dalton will have to, keep going to Deontay Johnson from now on until Thielen gets back. Darius Slayton, thumb injury, exited the game. He's questionable already, so that is not a good idea. Josh Palmer, we know he missed, but he should be back next week is what I'm understanding. So Josh Palmer, we have yet to see him, but he should be back next week. Jordan Addison, he is questionable for next week. Still that aggravating, because I think he's not going to play next week because I think Naylor, the guy who has replaced Jordan Addison, has filled in admirably, has scored in 3 straight weeks. Darnold's looking good. And I think that Green Bay is going to roll coverage to Justin Jefferson. So I think the opposite person, Justin Jefferson, if Addison comes back, I play him. If Addison doesn't come back, I'm playing Naylor. So that's just another thing to keep on. Whoever's opposite of Justin Jefferson should get plenty of targets next week. And A.J. Brown, we talked about him. Deebo Samuel, he missed week 3, is expected out for next week, but he's not on IR. So that means that could be encouraging that he will not be on IR for the full, or he won't be out for the 4 full weeks. Although Jawan Jennings kind of stepped in and said, hey, Ayuk doesn't have to carry the load. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Oh my goodness, look at that picture. We saw, do you know he had more touchdowns in that game than he's had in his entire career? And that's including college, folks, in one game. So that was pretty impressive. So, yes, we saw Evan Ingram out another week this past Monday night. I'm thinking he's going to be out again. Jacksonville's just what are the vibes now, even after that Buffalo blowout in your neck of the woods, Lacey?
Man, Jacksonville is awful, and their fans are like pissed. They're just really pissed off.
That's all they can say, because it didn't even look like they wanted to be out there in Buffalo. It's like that Buffalo game. I mean, if they wanted to, Buffalo could have put up 70 points if they had kept their starters out there. It was pretty bad. But yeah, that's not a good recipe. Sam Laporta, ankle injury, questionable. Trey McBride, concussion, questionable. George Kittle.
Hold on, calculator. When you're asking me about what the rumors are down here, that coach's days are numbered. Just saying.
Okay. And I heard, and like I said, I heard some vibes that he refuses to. We'll talk. Did you hear the story of the defensive coordinator when they hired him? What happened is he interviewed for the job. Right. Doug Peterson called him. He was on that ride, It's a Small World at Disney World when Doug Peterson called him. So he was debating, is like, hey, I need to get out of this ride, walk through the water to get the call. And sure enough, he was hired. It's a great story, but it's questionable results right now. So yeah, because you're right. It was
right now.
Yeah. So and this is a team that made the playoffs just 2 years ago. So you would have thought it would only got better, but yeah, it actually looks like Trevor Lawrence has gotten worse. And thing is, I have no explanation for it. Because if people remember when he was a freshman at Clemson and they beat Alabama in the national championship his freshman year, everybody said he could come out after as a freshman and be the number one pick. Of course, you can't do that in college, so he played his 2 other years, still came out as his first. And then everybody blamed it that his stunt development on Urban Meyer, because Urban Meyer got hired as coach, drafted Trevor Lawrence. He looked awful. But I'm telling you, it was a terrible. And then Doug Peterson come in. Looks pretty decent his first year in. Say, Trevor Lawrence is the real deal. And if people remember last year, 2023, Trevor Lawrence was in the top 6 draft picks of quarterbacks in fantasy. And if you had Trevor Lawrence, you were let down last year. And you know what? Nobody has Trevor. I mean, if you have Trevor Lawrence this year, he's on your bench. I don't know many people that drafted him as a starter. But yeah, I just don't think see things getting better, personally. So, but as I was rolling through these tight ends, it has been abysmal in the tight end lands. Yeah. When you have, hey, Mr. 401, name a tight end off the top of your head.
Zach Ertz.
Well, hey, he was pretty good though. he actually caught a couple from Jay and Daniel. Yeah. I was talking about top 7 tight ends. If you name that was drafted.
Okay.
Kelsey. Like I said,
Kelsey
underperforming. He hadn't been a tight end. He hadn't been a top 12 tight end in the past 3 weeks. So underperforming. People were getting scared of him.
He's not really.
Yeah, exactly. I thought commercials, and he's still trying to recover from that off-season world tour that he took with Taylor Swift. So I think he's still trying to get in the football shape.
He's in a movie or TV show. But he's doing all kinds of stuff, but he's not playing football.
Commercials, yeah. Him and his brother got the podcast and the Netflix special. I mean, they got everything going. So, but yeah, it's pretty much like I said, Laporta. Yeah, and then the injuries have just been piling up. Laporta ankle, like I said, McBride concussion, George Kittle hamstring. His was an Evan Ingram late, but now Evan Ingram was in warm-ups right before game time. That's what hurt on that one. A lot of people had to go make a last. The people that were at church that didn't have good Wi-Fi, they were in trouble. You know what I'm saying? So you got it. But George Kittle, he got hurt at a practice these hamstring injuries, they can linger. And David Njoku still that's a high ankle sprain, but again, questionable. No word on him returning. So before we go into the studs and duds, Mr. 401, we have a question from Larry. Jerome Ford for Juwan Jennings. Larry, I'm not dropping Jerome Ford just yet.
No.
And, hey, Juwan Jennings, great story. Just I don't know if I would drop a guy that can be considered a workhorse for a Juwan Jennings. What say you, Lacey?
Drop somebody else. Don't drop him.
Yeah. Yeah. There's got to be some other scrub on that bench.
Yeah, you don't drop a number one.
There could be a Blake Corum.
You don't do that.
There could be another.
Yeah, don't do that. So drop somebody else.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree.
I know you got two of them.
All right. Well, there it is, Larry Stone Cold. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, I'm predicting a touchdown for Jerome Ford this weekend against Las Vegas. I would drop another. I'm sure I could find a backup quarterback that I might not be using to my current quarterback as a late bye week, and then I would drop him for Juwan Jennings. Although, look at your leagues, because I can tell you, Juwan Jennings is not available in the 411 listener league. And that we'll go over that in our listener league review. So that's it for the news and notes, Mr. 401. I'll pass it back to you for studs and duds.
All right. Definitely appreciate that with the news and notes. Excellent job there. All right, Calculator. We're going to celebrate that segment. All right. So we're going to move over to studs and duds. A lot of people say that I have a milk dud head, so I guess it kind of ties in. You are one of those somebodies. Oh yeah, so we're gonna get into the studs and duds though. So if you could just producers, if you can do your job for a second. All right, thank you, producers.
Mercy.
All right,
look at that, Saquon Barkley. 147 yards, 2 touchdowns. Kyron Williams got 95% of running back snaps. That workload was just amazing, and he led basically the comeback. 3 touchdowns, 2 rushing, 1 receiving. Derrick Henry, King Henry is back, folks, and he has another juicy matchup on tap with I wouldn't say on tap, but he's going to have to do his thing against. It's not easy. It's going to be Buffalo, so that could be a tough sled. But they're going to need him to keep that. And then look at the duds, folks. Tyreek Hill, product of the system, folks. It was Dak was on the dud list until 8 minutes in the fourth quarter when he got all 3 of those touchdowns. So if you watch that Baltimore Dallas game, Dak Prescott saved his day in the last 8 minutes. On that, the onside kick recovery was pretty amazing as well. Sam Laporta, product of an injury and a product of just got hurt, and Amon St. Brown, they were force feeding him. Josh Jacobs, I don't know what to make of this, folks, because I'll tell you, Emmanuel Wilson, he looked like the guy with more juice in that game. He's the one that stole that touchdown. He took one of those Bill Walsh famous screen passes to the house, and Bill Walsh would have been happy on that screen pass. Mike Evans, another week, another dud. Just Chris Godwin getting all the love, and that's really
question for you.
Yes.
What happened to Tampa? Why did Tampa Bay lose like that to Denver? Like, what the hell was that?
I have no idea. This has been a thing you can't explain. Like Carolina not winning a game, they make a quarterback, and then all of a sudden they beat the team that just beat Baltimore last week in Vegas, right? And then Detroit. Yeah, and Detroit, who just lost last week, they come back and showed who they were against the team that beat the Rams. I can't make heads or tails. They said Patrick Surtain kind of was shadowing Mike Evans, and they could say that was the thing. But I think what's hurting Mike Evans is Chris Godwin playing the slot and just soaking up all the targets and all the attention and getting all the love from Baker Mayfield. But if Tampa Bay wants to improve in the future, I think they're going to have to get Mike Evans more involved, because if they get Mike Evans more involved, that's going to open up the shorter passes more to Chris Godwin. So because I think this is what happened is they single covered Mike Evans with Surtain, and then they just doubled Godwin. So you take away that touchdown, Tampa Bay, Baker Mayfield could not move the ball whatsoever. So I think it was just a type of defense that if you have a team with a shutdown corner, you're going to know how to play Tampa Bay. And then Mark Andrews, one target, and it was a bad target if people saw the game. Folks, Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely. I mean, Todd Monken has just totally written him out of the game plan. And so there's no reason for it. There's no explanation for it. But it looks like Baltimore would just rather run Derrick Henry and run Lamar Jackson and throw to Rashad Bateman. I mean, we have Rashad Bateman getting more love than Mark Andrews. So, I can't explain it. But, folks, if you're a Mark Andrews lover, our owner, time to fire up your Hunter Henry shares. Time to go and get Tyler Conklin on the waiver wire, because Andrews is not doing it for you.
Wow.
Yeah, time to go deep sea diving.
I got a stud that I would like to point out. Not so much a single player, but just a team. Congratulations to Carolina.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I'm like, no.
Yeah, and
but hey, he played.
Yeah, and did you know Andy Dalton was the first quarterback for this year to have 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, passing touchdowns.
I heard that.
Until Joe Burrow did it on Monday night, but Andy Dalton was the first quarterback to do that this year.
That's saying something important about fantasy. It's not looking good.
Yeah, I mean, Andy Dalton. Yeah, Andy Dalton is a stud. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's telling you what's going on out here. But you're right though. I mean, that was a great job by Carolina to just come out of nowhere and get that victory. So much so that the head coach Pierce for the Raiders is ready to get rid of some players.
He looks like he's ready to commit suicide. Are you kidding?
Yeah, he's ready. He's ready to throw some of those players off the Raider ship and get them out of here for that type of performance. And hey, I want to throw somebody out there too. And
go Giants.
You all remember this, Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, right? The beautiful day in the neighborhood. You can't beat that sweater right there. And he always says, "Won't you be my neighbor?" Well, don't forget Malik Neighbors. All right,
go Giants,
man. This guy right here, man, 12 targets, man. He's getting 12 targets, man. This guy is really
doing something with him.
Yeah, so I just want to make sure we give a shout out to Malik Neighbors out there. Yeah,
the target share that everybody that was not drafting Neighbors was I got the same argument every time. He's going to suck because his quarterback sucks. That was the argument against Neighbors all through draft seasons. Well, you know what? It doesn't matter if the quarterback sucks now because he's throwing them balls and now Neighbors is just catching them. So 36% target share. That's unheard of, for a rookie. So he say even if it's bad targets, he's going to catch it. So it's it's pretty amazing. Neighbors has been he's been doing his thing and beat a pretty good Browns defense this past weekend.
Yeah, that catch in the back of the end zone by Neighbors was a thing of beauty. He definitely is a professional wide receiver because he got both feet down. I mean, it was a tough catch. He got it in, man. Like, so this guy is legit. So Neighbors, whoever has Neighbors on their team, congratulations.
Wish I did.
Yeah.
I have him I have him in the 411 league, so I got him at least somewhere. I had to get him somewhere.
Yeah, congratulations, because he's getting it done. All right. Anything else there for studs and duds, ladies and gentlemen?
Not really. It's just that I was watching something earlier today, and they were saying how fantasy numbers are kind of across the board are just down. Especially quarterbacks. I think. It's. I guess I don't know if they're running more, or I
I
don't know. It's like if you look at
Yeah.
yeah,
Jalen Hurts, his numbers are
yeah,
way down. I know Saquon
yeah.
is picking up some of that, but just across the
But
board, we're not
yeah,
getting
well,
quality numbers
Well, I
that we
think I
used
think I think a lot of it could be improved defense as well. Defenses are just playing great
to. I think.
right now.
Okay.
I mean that too, and then I also think it's something that's been kind of building too, where a lot of the like the NFL cut the preseasons down, right? They chopped that piece down,
Yeah.
uh, so there's less work there. And then over the last couple of years or so, the practices are becoming lighter and lighter and things like that. And then you couple that with um pretty much to me the similar offenses. It used to be a difference in your offenses, college offense versus pro offense, and now it's all kind of looking the same. And it's and lack of a better word, I think it's more of a simplistic type of offenses now, where you don't
Yeah.
see them behind center that much. You just see them back there shotgun, making quick throws, and then you couple that on top of that, you put another layer of all these young quarterbacks come in and they start right away. Look at what we talk about with Dalton, how Dalton's come in and delivered, but he's been around the block
But
a few
he's been
times.
around though. But I'm
Right.
saying like
But
Patrick
Bryce Young's
Mahomes
been but
and,
Young's been thrown out there to the
and
wolves. You
Jalen
know what
Hurts,
I'm saying?
they were getting really good numbers, and all of a sudden Mahomes is averaging what 15 points. That's
But
just
if,
not
but
that's not
again,
how
even
it's been. So, but it
but
is
even with
adjustment.
her, but even with Hurts, I mean, he really runs more effective as a rusher than a thrower. And it's like maybe they're catching up a little bit with him in that aspect. I'm not sure. I'm just throwing some stuff out there
Yeah,
with you. But
yeah.
I'm
No,
but
I
I'm
hear
with
you.
you though.
It's just an observation because it used to be
Yeah.
like you pick up somebody like Patrick Mahomes, and that's money, and not anymore.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you got to dig deep. Okay. All right. Great point there, Lacey. That's why you're here.
Oh, another
All
one
right.
last stud, Anthony Richardson. What the hell?
Oh, good one. Good one.
What's
Calculator, he can speak on that,
Yeah.
but I think he's more erratic right now. Like he's going to be boom or bust. Like next week, he can give you 40 fantasy points, and then the following week, he may give you 18. I mean, it's just a matter of him. Again, he's a young quarterback, in my opinion.
fine, but 8 is not.
Well,
Yeah,
I
but he's young.
well you just think about it. He's only started 14 games in his career, and I'm not talking about just NFL games. I'm talking
Right.
about college and pro games.
Oh,
So
really?
he is still. I would say he's. I mean, he hadn't even. A lot of people were comparing him to Jane Daniels. Jane Daniels has so much more experience at a
Hmm.
starting level that he's. It just looks like he's. It just looks like he feels more confident. Anthony Richardson is still working through the rookie mistakes. He still hasn't had a full training camp because, and again, his like you said, Mr. 411 said, the abbreviated training camp is what's going to stunt the growth of people like Anthony Richardson, who doesn't have a lot of collegiate experience. So I think he's still trying to rely on his athletic ability more than reading the defense, and trying to absorbing the game plan. And I think time will help and pick him up. But yes, he's definitely. I mean, and if you remember, at last year he had no Jonathan Taylor in the beginning, so he's still trying to coexist with Jonathan Taylor because Jonathan Taylor had that holdout last year when Anthony Richardson
Right.
was the starter, and then Anthony Richardson got hurt, and then Jonathan Taylor came. So it's almost like a whole new team, finding a whole new system, and I think he will be fine when he learns how to be patient, learns to take what the defense will give him. Heck, lean back on Jonathan Taylor and just enjoy the ride, because if you try to do too much and you try to force things, bad things can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, great points by all. Yeah, it's going to be tough, especially with all these young guys playing quarterback so soon. I just remember the days where quarterbacks sat. They at least had a whole season.
They sat for a
You
couple
know,
of years.
yeah, some sat multiple years. You know what I'm saying? Before they got out there and like they, boom, you get drafted, you expect to be right out there. Look no further than Caleb Williams in Chicago. But absolutely, people. All right, so let's get to the waiver wire, um, and see what's going on there. I
Oh,
know a lot of people who have tight ends need to be out there, but Calculator, what's going on there?
Waiver wire. Yes, folks, we're going into. Can you hear me okay? I was just going to go over the waiver wire with the quarterbacks. Geno Smith, your guy, Mr. 411. Hey, he's been a top 10 through 3 weeks, but I'm going to get you a little tidbit, folks. Going back to 2023, Geno Smith has hit 18 fantasy points in 7 straight games. Folks, that's better than Kyler Murray. That's better than, we talked about Anthony Richardson. That's better than, that's better than, when you talk about consistency, Geno Smith is hitting it. And now he's got those 3 receivers. He's got a new coaching staff that believes in him. Granted, the first 3 weeks have been a little soft. This one is going to be the matchup, though. I'm looking forward to the Detroit game when Detroit plays Seattle. I think that's the game to see if Geno Smith's for real. But hey, it's going to be it's almost like an indoor game. It's going to be a high-paced game. Geno Smith, you could do worse than Geno Smith. I like him. I'm thinking 5-8% of your bet if you're a Caleb Williams owner. If you're a heck, if you're an owner that has a guy, Jalen Hurts is going on a bye next week. So you might want to be thinking of something like for next week, and so people that had the Tua on your IR, hey, if you don't have an IR spot, it's time to dump Tua, and I pick up Geno Smith for Tua at this point, just because Tua's not going to help you in the near future. So yeah, Geno Smith, I like him.
Is available. I'm not in any.
Geno Smith is available in 70% of ESPN leagues.
He's available in 0% of the leagues I'm in.
Well, like I said, wow. Well, he isn't available at least 70% of leagues. So he might not be in your league. Hey, he's available in 2 leagues. So I don't need him because I have. If I invest in a top quarterback, I'm not going to draft a backup quarterback. So that's just how I draft. But yeah, he's in a couple of leagues of mine. 70% of fans. So hey, just look if he's out there. If he's not available in your league, that's fine. But I had to use broad data, and 70% of leagues, Geno Smith is available on the waiver wire, folks.
Wow.
So. Oh, and guess what? Sam Darnold is available in 70% of leagues too. So even though. There's 3 leagues I'm in that Sam Darnold's available. But he had 4 touchdowns, right? But he only had 181 yards. So but Minnesota plays Green Bay. So if you want to start Sam Darnold, start at your own risk as he's going up against the top 10 pass defense this league. So okay, Bucky Irvin is available in 70%. I'm only bringing up free agents in 70% of the leagues. I'll repeat that again. But yes, Bucky Irvin is slowly draining carries away from Rachaad White. Rachaad White is dealing with a nagging injury, not enough to where he's out, but his injury is severe enough to where he's ceding carries to Bucky Irvin. Tampa Bay still does like Rachaad White on passing downs, but Bucky Irvin could be in line for more work as he's getting more and more acclimated to the offense. We'll see if it materializes, but the current trajectory for Irving is he should be owned in all leagues, but he's still available in 70% of leagues. And yes, Braylon Allen, he was actually dropped 2 weeks ago in my New York Money League. That is a league where we have. It's based on need because you could be in a league where you start 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, no flex, small bench. Braylon Allen will be available in leagues like that. So you got to look at your league type to see if he's available. But hey, if Braylon Allen's available, he's definitely a guy that you need to go in the league because he can actually be a bye week supplement because he'll get you double digits just from the touches he has. Lacey can attest to that. She's a Jets fan, so she knows that they got good situation in their running backs out there. And we talked about it. Juwan Jennings will not be available in 70% of leagues after the waiver wire this week. He was picked up, and we talked about in the 411 listener league. He was picked up by the guy that's currently sitting in first place in our listener league. And then he was picked up. He was picked up in a lot of Saturday leagues after the George Kittle was ruled out, and then people could move George Kittle to the IR slot. That freed up this thing. I actually picked up Juwan Jennings in my own home league because I was playing playing keep away from a guy that probably would have picked him up because he was starting people like Jaylen Warren, and he was picking up people in his flex position. I said, I don't want this guy picking up Juwan Jennings, and he was on my bench, so I didn't pick him up enough to start him and with confidence enough to start him. But hey, Deebo Samuel's still out, George Kittle's still out, Christian McCaffrey sideline. Fire up your Juwan Jennings ownership if you have him. And I also think Darnell Mooney is still available in quite a few leagues. So he been on this field for 96% of snaps. Targets have gone up every game since game one. And he gets, although he might get and the thing is, you have Drake London that's going to pull coverage to his side. So that's going to give Darnell Mooney, one-on-one coverage. And last but not least, I'm going to throw Mike Williams in there, folks. Williams, week 3 role, took a step back. But it's fair to wonder if the Jets limited him on the short week. But hey, because they played on Thursday night, Jets won in a blowout. Most encouragingly, Aaron Rodgers played by far his best game of the season. If Mike Williams can get close to a full-time role, he will get some spot start appeal. So, that's a little D. I wouldn't blow a big fab. I wouldn't blow a top 5 waiver priority, but I definitely do like 10% of my fab. And if I have 5 or lower, I would throw a claim out there, see if I can get them on my team.
All right. Okay.
And back to the waiver wire. That's the waiver wire.
What the
hell? All right. So let's jump over into the listener league, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
Oh, calculator. Listener league.
Oh, the Jets are playing in London. Huh.
All right, here we go.
Yeah.
All right, are we there? Okay, there we are. Listener league, ladies and gentlemen.
Can't see it.
Oh, I can't.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the.
Oh, you moving around? Okay, no problem. Oh,
I don't know why. Here. Let me see. I'm trying to get to the producers here.
Okay.
There we go.
I think they're on break.
Producers should have it by now. There we go.
Okay, they're back.
There we go.
Put that peanut butter jelly sandwich away, calculator.
That's right. Well, I really want to talk about the guy who just hit first place. The name is United We Stand, right? The guy scored 166 points.
Is that Robert?
But this is what's impressive. If you look,
yes,
that is Robert. He picked up Juwan Jennings, and he started Juwan Jennings. He started Jonathan Taylor. He has Jordan Mason. He started Rashad. But look, he had to. This is a guy, Keenan Allen out, A.J. Brown out, Evan Ingram out, Tua Tagovailoa, Isaiah Pacheco out. Folks, this is what you do. If you have injuries, work the waiver wire, and you never know what's going to happen. And that's what Robert has done with all these injuries.
Way to go, Robert.
He still went in and managed to put up high points. And way to go, Robert. And Robert has waiver wired himself to first place in the listener league. If you look, I mean that's pretty amazing. Yeah, I mean he said. Yeah, so I was impressed. It looks like, oh yes, Mr. 4-1, another solid victory against what was it? Of course, Lacey. I played Lime last week, and Lime scored 180 points against me.
Oh.
So Mr. 4-1 had a little easier time.
He always does.
So, but yeah, Mr. 4-1 doing his. Yeah, and I picked up my first win of the season. Thank goodness I was able to get what is what is what it is. I do have the second or third most points in the league, huh?
No, that's against Zach.
No, that's Zach. Yep, I beat Zach, and old Carter's Peanuts did his thing. He's still in there. Josh Allen carried him to a victory. LT actually went against the number one team, and number one team kind of laid an egg this week. But yeah, that's just going to show you can be the number one team, and you can just go bad across the board. But yeah, these are the standings. You got Robert first place, Carter's Peanuts second, Fight Squad, also known as Windy City third, LT fourth, and 411 number 5. And I don't know who CC is, but hey, CC's on a roll. CC had the lowest amount of points scored in week 1, and now he's won 2 in a row, and he's feeling good. But Miss Lacey, I can talk some smack right now because I won last week. This week. I think I'm gonna be able to take care, teach a little lesson to CC for Rookie of the Year this week.
Okay, we're gonna hold you to that.
Hold me to it. All right, Mr. 4-1, are we going to be ready for the mini draft?
Yeah.
Absolutely. We're going to be ready for that.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Well, folks, as you will see, I got the wheel of names again, and we are due to LT's scheduling conflict. We will be playing against artificial intelligence. That is the Commodore, and Lacey. We are still working on Lacey's picture. But for now, if it lands on Brooks, that will be who Lacey will be picking in that spot. So as we normally, Brooks. See, that guy right there. See, because I have my picture. The little one has his picture. Yeah. All right. So when. This is about this. Oh, Lacey, you'll get first pick.
All right, Lacey.
There we Lacey. Lacey with first pick. Let me put Lacey up here. All right. Now second pick. All right, I pick second. Okay. All right, now. Oh, looks like it'll be AI this week at number 3.
Oh, I get the bag to back. 411. All right.
Yep. There we go. All right. So AI and 411. All right. So Lacey, you have a pick. You can have anybody you want.
Okay, well, let me go get this out of the way. I'm going to ride Saquon till it breaks off. That's
all right.
Saquon. Wait, yeah, that's a good question from
Saquon Barkley.
LT. How last week's results? What's up?
Oh, last week results, LT won. I'll put it on the screen. Okay. LT won, but it was a close one. LT won due to his Josh Allen, Jonathan Taylor, and Amon St. Brown. But hey, Lacey, your Saquon Barkley and Burrow kept you in the race. It was actually Marvin Harris got outscored by Amon is what really did you. Well, that and Josh Allen had 40 points.
And
I mean, that he led all.
Sam Laporta got hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, that didn't help. You're right. It
was only a 2-point game.
All right. But that's true. So yeah, that was congratulations to LT on winning this week.
And big shout out to DJ Play Nice. DJ Play Nice. Big shout out. We appreciate you supporting the show. And DJ Play Nice. I'm following you out there on YouTube. And blessings to you. We definitely appreciate you out there.
Yeah. All right. So I'm actually going to go. Since I really wanted Saquon Barkley, but he is gone.
Sorry, not sorry.
So let me fire. Oh man, this is. Hey, I'm not going. Hey, he did good last week. I know he's going to be tougher sailing this week, but hey, I think that means he'll run more. So I'm going to go with Josh Allen against Baltimore.
Allen.
And AI, his pick is in, and his pick is Jalen Hurts.
All right. Hurts.
That is AI's highest projected. Well, with our scoring, you remember that 0.25 per carry. AI loves rushing quarterbacks. All right, 4-1, you got back-to-back.
Ooh, back-to-back. Okay, let's see. There's 2 quarterbacks off the table, so there's 1 left. Let me just go ahead and all right, Team 411 drafts Kyler Murray.
All right, Kyler Murray off the board. Next pick.
Who the LT take?
Well, AI took LT's not playing. He took Jalen Hurts. Artificial intelligence took Jalen Hurts.
And who did you take?
All right, Mr. 411.
Coop.
411 got Kyler Murray, and now we're waiting for his next pick.
Cooper, who did you get?
I got Josh Allen.
Okay, I'm ready for my pick. The pick is in. Team 411 is drafting Marvin Harrison Jr.
Mm-hmm.
With the back-to-back.
Okay.
QB, running back. All right.
This is the AI.
All right, everybody's in the war room getting down. It's back to AI now.
Yeah, I'm pulling it up.
Oh yeah.
And AI is choosing CD Lamb.
CD Lamb.
Yep. And I do not need a running back since Lacey already got one, so I'm going to go wide receiver. Or I could get my first. No, I want wide receiver as well.
Okay.
And hey, I really like. Hey, I like Cincinnati's matchup against Carolina, so I'm going to go with Jamar Chase. I think he's back.
Oh, okay. I like that. It's bold.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this, Calculator. Burrow's been throwing the ball around. I mean, even in that loss the Monday night, it's being overlooked because of the game that the Ricky Daniels had. But Burrow still threw for a lot. He threw for a lot of yards.
Yeah, over 300 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Yep. Second quarterback to do that this year, behind Andy Dalton.
Behind Andy Dalton, there you go.
All right, Lacey, you got back-to-back.
I'm up. Okay.
And there's 3 wide receivers drafted.
Yeah, see that. Yeah, that's nice. It's nothing, Okay.
And 3 quarterbacks have been drafted.
Obviously, I got to go with Dallas Goedert, since there's nobody else in Philly.
Okay.
So that's my first pick. And
Got it.
I guess it's a toss-up between 2 and you.
All right, Dallas Goedert.
I'm trying to decide between Rashee Rice and Nico Collins.
Ooh.
That Jacksonville matchup is tasty. The Texas versus Jacksonville. Woo.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of mouths.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to go ahead and go with Rashee Rice.
Hey, not bad to go with a guy that got 14 targets last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wanted Nico too, so we'll see.
Lacey, guess
Yes,
what? Rice is cooking.
Yeah.
You just had to do it, right?
He had to. No, he couldn't help himself. So I mean, it really don't matter. I mean, yeah. Well, I'm gonna want my stack, so I'm gonna go with Kincaid at the tight end slot.
Ooh, nice. I like him.
All right, and AI, he's going with Jonathan Taylor.
So he went running back.
Yep.
Okay. Is that all the running backs? Let's see. One. He went running back with Taylor.
You need a running back and a tight end, Mr. 411.
Oh, I go back to back anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, correct.
All right. So, let me give this to AI for that pick. Okay. All right. So I need running back and tight end. Tight end list is kind of thin.
Yeah.
It's really thin.
Kelsey's available.
And it's crazy, isn't it? You would
Yes.
think that would be an automatic.
We were a lot of times we were picking it with our first pick.
Yeah. With the first pick. So,
Yeah.
All right, the music is getting intense here. You know what? I'm just gonna just do it. It doesn't. I mean, in the words of The Rock, it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna go ahead and take. I'm gonna ride Ertz again. I'm going with Ertz.
That's a good pick.
And now you need a running back.
Okay. Running backs. Let's see. Oh boy. All right. Need a running back.
Y'all picked running back last. That's weird.
Yeah. Normally I draft 40 running backs.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. So just kind of looking at some of these matchups for this week coming up and see what back's gonna go to work. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to, because I don't like that Bills matchup.
Lamar Jackson? No, not Lamar. You don't like that? Wow.
For some reason, I don't. I just don't like it. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna go with a guy because I drafted Gibbs, but I'm just gonna go out on a limb on this one. I'm just gonna take Montgomery from Detroit against my Seahawks.
Wow. You have all those running backs that have the full share. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, he got 20 points last week.
I'm going out on a limb.
On a limb. There you go. AI goes Kelsey. AI is not scared. And I'll go with Breece Hall.
All right.
All right, Lacey, you need a quarterback to round out your team.
Okay, I'm flipping a mental coin. Is it Jaden or is it Lamar? It's hard, but I think it'll be Jaden.
All right, Jane Daniels making the mini draft.
Yeah.
Wow, that's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
What, 92% completion rate on Monday night? No. I think they said he's the only quarterback in history to pass for 2 touchdowns, rush for a touchdown, and have a 92% completion rate. So that's pretty interesting.
He just needs to keep that up.
Can't beat that. All right, so the draft is Lacey has Jane Daniels, Saquon Barkley, Rashee Rice, and Dallas Goedert. Yours truly has Josh Allen, Kincaid, Stack, and I got Breece Hall and Jamar Chase helping out. AI went Jalen Hurts, Jonathan Taylor, CeeDee Lamb, and Kelsey. A lot of number one at various positions at the beginning of the year. If it's time for them to break out, they now's the time, right? And then 4-on-1 off script. Kyler Murray and Marvin Harrison Jr. stack against and then David Montgomery going against his team, the Seahawks, and Zach Ertz, like you said, going out on a limb, folks. It rounds out 4-1-1.
Yeah. All right.
Excellent.
All right.
And we'll give all the results next week when we come.
Okay. All right, guys.
Exciting. It's been wonderful. So this is what we're going to do so that I can be able to re-air this great episode. We're going to close it out. So I thank everybody for being on. Take care. We'll catch you next week.
All right.
Good night.